Hi there, how exciting. This is the first virtual session interactive space for World Environment Day. I'm coming to you from Cairns, far north Queensland, in the most stunning space where the rainforest meets the reef. My name's Leslie Van Staveren, and there's a few reasons why I'm here to talk to you today, and it's going to be around the plastic space and why we need to keep focused on this issue. And there's a very strong reason why I'm particularly interested in this, because I'm involved in a few areas which I'd like to share with you. So first off, I am co-owner of a local business in Cairns called FNQ Plastics. That's alongside my business partner, Cole. I'm also co-founding director of the first recycled manufacturing facility called Regen Plastics, which has taken a whole lot of work to get off the ground, and we're keeping on pushing forward there. But I'm also president of the Committee for Waste Reduction, which is an organisation of the most incredible individuals, from just private individuals wanting to do their best through to businesses looking to improve continuously how they operate within business and how they can always see the value of every resource out there. But for the purpose of today, we've gone through, as we keep hearing, we know it's unprecedented times, the amount of times we hear that sentence, but what does this mean? At the moment we keep talking about, yes, times are different and getting back to normal, but I disagree. Getting back to normal means just trickling along and not challenging the status quo. We've worked so hard in the plastic space to talk about reducing single use, to talk about circular economy and capturing everything that's out there in existence and remanufacturing it into usable end products that can then be recycled all over again and completely closing the loop. However, during the last couple of months, we've obviously been focused in a different space because human health has to come first. Absolutely. So the conversation has been different. But what we need to consider is where we're talking about plastics, that's not changed, and that's not going to go away. In fact, the volume has increased on single use. We went back to, after campaigning so hard to remove takeaway cups, straws, bottles, all of these elements, even the single-use plastic bags, and because of needing very necessary consideration to reduce touch points, we have reverted back to a space where single use is on the rise, where we are now finding even more of the personal protection equipment or the masks and barriers that are very needed in the healthcare system when treating those affected to reduce the spread. What is the impact? We are seeing it increase tenfold on beaches, in the ocean, just dumped in landfills. And we're back to the same position. What if, as we move forward, we really do advocate, each of us, for the redesign? A lot of this equipment and aspects made, they're still made of different types of plastics. That's different polymers which are processed at different rates. They will have different behaviours. What if we continue to lean towards, when we look at what we're using, that it is something of either one type of high-grade plastic that can actually be melted down and made into something else long-term and then recycled all over again, or even if it is different components that need the different characteristics, that they can be dismantled and processed. There's different ways of thinking about it, but we have to keep on moving forward and keep this conversation up. So for example, in far north Queensland, we still don't have recycling infrastructure. We now have the actual end processing where we can take the recycled pellets that come from down south, but we still are sending all of our plastics away to be processed. Now, if you couple that with the fact of everything that's going on on a global scale, how powerful is each region if they can actually be self-sufficient to capture what they individually as a region produce and continue to make new products bought by local manufacturers, local providers, whether it be the food manufacturers, whether it be in agriculture with the bins and buckets, everything that's used. There's a space for us to actually continuously work together in collaboration and find uses and continue to put in place programs that are really beneficial and bring us all together as a collective. There is a better way to do things. So right now, let's look at the fact there is still no infrastructure, and why is that not being pushed? Why is there not more businesses? Now, it's wonderful to see you've got plastic-free cans now started to look at how businesses can drop it out, particularly when it comes to cafes and restaurants. So as people are starting to open up, we can move forward in that way. What we need to do is break it down. So what about if we had the conversation around the individual space, the business space, and the end users? So you as an individual, even in the home, you might look at some of the labeling. Can it be recycled, yes or no? But what if we actually had that numbering system that's still there? Currently, the plastics are numbered 1 to 7. What if there's just 1 to 3, and you knew if there was a local processing provider that could take number 1, or could take number 2, or number 3? We can actually then start to separate and see the value at the end of life in our own region. Because we are all in this together, and if you factor in, there's some massive statistics out there. You know, currently there's 7.7 billion people on the planet, and within the next 20 years, it's projected that that'll be up to 9.7. Imagine if we continue to go down the path of use that we are as a trend. Because at the moment, we are still manufacturing around 350 million tons of virgin material every year, and 50% of that is still single use, and it's projected to grow and increase. That is more and more stress and pressure on our natural resources. And instead, we can actually capture what's already out there and put it back and still create new economy, new jobs. And we talk about STEM, the science, technology, engineering, maths. What if we can create careers for the future generations? When you have the school leavers, we talk about environment, we talk about educating the kids and giving them hope for the future. What about careers that bring them in, engage them, where we can look at all those areas and upskilling in a way that makes a difference and creates jobs and economy and collaboration between all of our networks, all levels. So education's a big one. So as I say, it's users individually looking at what we buy, and if we had systems in place, we know very clearly where to put that. What about you as a business? Are you now going back perhaps after a couple of months, whether it be, you know, in tourism as we start to see more things open, or cafes, or even in the office space as we start to move forward, or even when you're going out shopping and buying from your suppliers? Goes back to looking at what you're buying, where it's going to end up. Because we don't want to go back to normal. We absolutely don't want to. So look at the value and the resource of whatever you purchase. It could be even, we know, where you look at bulk. It could be just making sure you have that conversation with whoever you purchase from and what their values are and their adherence and all of their sustainability measures that they've got in place. On the third scale, advocate towards our local government, our state government, federal, because we need to come together to show that we need a focus on processing and infrastructure in Queensland and in far north Queensland, because we still don't have enough of a priority. And that will take all of us coming together and pushing that subject forward. Normal is not what we want to go back to. Yes, we've seen over the last couple of months all these amazing changes. We have seen, obviously, you know, oceans and rivers and lakes all getting clearer. We've seen the air clearing. But what we have seen, as I say, is the physical use of those items absolutely increase and grow. What's going to be the impact of that? Talk about human health. Obviously, you know, there's the pandemic, massive consideration, but I'm talking long term, where we look at the plastics. That is when we speak about microparticles, microplastics, that is not just going away in somewhere else, that's coming back into your soil, into your water. You know, for example, how's that water tasting right now? If you knew it's got thousands of tiny little particles of plastic in. What's that doing in here? What's it doing into the next generation, into the foods we grow? It is coming back to us. So it is all of us that needs to drive forward and shift this. So we need to keep up the conversation of plastic, where it's going to end up long-term in human health, because that's the impact. But we can actually use it in a really, really positive space, because it is a value and it is a resource if it's dealt with in the right way. So what I'm going to ask for you for World Environment Day is start looking at your life as a whole and break it down, either in the home, perhaps with your community, either in business, and choose one area that you want to focus on. Because you're not in this alone. It is not just up to you. And we don't want to go back to normal, because normal, that's why we are in the situation we're in. We want to go back to a way, move forward into a beautiful space where we are sharing ideas, we are sharing solutions, we are looking at different infrastructure, we are looking at different jobs, different careers moving forward that make an impact and create a stronger economy. Because, as I say, even up here, we need more industry. That's a growth space. We have tourism. We need extra industry to support our whole region so we can become self-sufficient. So choose your area that you're going to look at, and then look further just to choose one item. Because next month, when we come up to July, you're going to have Plastic-Free July. What are you going to work on? Plan it out, and plan out who else you can bring on board. Because this is where we're going to get the impact, when we realise that there is billions of us on the planet. Every single one of us has a voice. Every single one of us can make a choice how we choose what we use, what we reduce. Because it is possible when we all come in together and look at taking just one step. So enjoy World Environment Day. Look at where you can begin, because that's where the hope is, when you choose something achievable and workable. And I'd actually really love to hear about where you're going to start. So share it with me, and actually you can get an accountability partner to say, right, this is what I'm going to change, this is what I'm going to do, and share it with them as well. Tell us what you're going to change, make it public, make it accountable, do a video, put it out there, and let's see what we can do together. Because you hear the hashtag Be the Change, change matters. We don't want to go back to the way things were before. Let's move forward in a really positive way that is very realistic and benefits the whole community, the whole economy, and human health. Have an amazing World Environment Day.